tuvo una cirugía, por eso él está, no se le topó, él está número 1 y estará listo para cuando él nos notifique que está en posición para regresar a pelear. Él tiene las puertas abiertas y una pelea directa por el campeonato si él así lo pide.
All right, what up, everybody? So look, man, let's get right into it, bro, because you can't make this shit up, man. I had just came on here yesterday, right? And I told you guys what the WBC was going to try to do. They were going to try to find a way to get this damn belt back to Canelo, right? And then I just saw this interview where Mauricio Suleiman is talking about if Canelo, you know, that Canelo had elbow surgery, whatever, and that he's in line to get a shot at the belts right away if that's what he wants. If this is what Canelo asks for, right? So once again, that ain't what the WBC, it's not like, oh, you know, we're going to position Canelo or we're going to position these fighters. With the WBC, it's like, if Canelo asks for that, that's what we're going to give him. In other words, saying like, bro, Canelo's the fucking boss. Canelo, he tells us what to do, you know what I'm saying? And this is crazy as fuck, right? I know a lot of you guys call me crazy. You guys think I'm out here on some bullshit. But I had just told you guys this shit yesterday, and this is exactly what's going to happen. Or, yeah, this is exactly what's going to happen or happening already. You know what I'm saying? Now, look, there's a lot of things to talk about, right? And we're going to break all this shit down in this video. Because now, you know, we've seen De La Hoya come out here and he took shots at Crawford. You know what I'm saying? De La Hoya siding with the WBC on this one. And, you know, not that I don't blame him, bro. I know why he's doing it because, you know, these guys are kind of against Turkey. Even though De La Hoya sold his company to Turkey and he was working with them, he does not want Dana White and Turkey to take over the sport of boxing now. You know, so this is why he's kind of siding with Mauricio Suleiman and the WBC on this one, right? And I fuck with De La Hoya, you guys know that. But I gotta disagree with him on this one. You know, De La Hoya came out here and he said like, oh, it's crazy how Crawford pretty much told the WBC to go fuck themselves as they are the ones that ranked him and positioned him and this and that. And he was pretty much comparing it to like if his agent got him an acting job or some shit and then he wanted his 10% and then, you know, they just told him to go fuck themselves. You know, and I get everything that De La Hoya is talking about. It makes a lot of sense and it's right. It's right in a fair world, right? But this is not a fucking fair world, bro. This is what he neglected to mention, right? He neglected to mention the corruption that is the WBC and all the bullshit that was happening here, right? Because yes, it's cool for you to say like, oh, Crawford, how could you do that shit when the WBC, they ranked you and this and that, blah, blah, blah. But was that ranking even fair, bro? Was that shit even fair? Like for Crawford to get a shot at Canelo before somebody like Benavidez? How does that shit make sense? You know what I'm saying? You know what happened right here, bro? And I've always told you guys this shit on this channel. I'm a super strong believer in karma. And this is karma at its fucking finest, coming back to bite the WBC and Mauricio Suleiman in the ass. You know, let's break this shit down, bro, and let's just be honest about it. Crawford wasn't lying when he said that Mauricio Suleiman wanted Canelo to win this fight. And it wasn't even just that, bro. It was like nobody really thought that Crawford was going to beat Canelo jumping up in weight like that. Because honestly, bro, let's keep it real, that shit was not supposed to happen. You know, a lot of us were saying like, no, Canelo is just too big, bro. Like he's too big. We weren't doubting Crawford's skill, right? We were just talking about the size thing, you know? And even myself, I had told y'all, like, nah, Canelo's too big, bro. Them shots are going to be too heavy. But one thing that I'm learning really, really quick in the sport of boxing is not to doubt these fucking snack fighters, right? Whatever Snack has going on, bro, whether they're cheating or not, whatever they're doing, they're getting away with it and the shit is working. These guys have fighters jumping up in weight and they're competing like nothing, bro. Like they belong in that fucking weight class. A lot of these guys jumping up to new weight classes and even looking heavier, even bigger than the guys at that fucking weight class. So that is one thing that I'm learning really, really quick in the sport of boxing, is not to doubt Snack and these fucking fighters. You know, so like I was saying, bro, Crawford was never supposed to beat Canelo, right? So for Mauricio Suleiman, it was kind of like, you know what, we're gonna make this huge money fight with Canelo and Crawford, and Canelo's gonna whoop Crawford easily. This is what Mauricio Suleiman was thinking. You know, when he gave Crawford that opportunity to fight for the belts at 168, when he had never even fought at the weight class. You know, so Mauricio was like, yep, Canelo's going to keep his titles. This is just another way for us to protect Canelo. An easy fight for him, because it was supposed to be an easy fight for Canelo on paper, you know. Canelo's going to beat Crawford, make a lot of money. We're going to get that 3% off of Canelo's purse in this fight. We're going to make a lot of money, and it's supposed to be an easy fight for Canelo, right? What happened? Crawford came out here, did his thing, pulled one of the biggest upsets, right, in boxing, and he beat Canelo. And guess what? Like I had told y'all, the WBC were going to have to take a pay cut, because they get a percentage out of the purse of the fighter that wins, that has their belt. So now they weren't going to get the percentage off of Canelo's purse. They had to get the percentage off of Crawford's purse, which was way less than what Canelo was going to make. You know, because it was rumored that Canelo was making over 100 million for this fucking fight. Right? So the WBC, they were still going to make some money off of Crawford, but nothing compared to what they were going to make off of Canelo. And now when Crawford said, fuck y'all, and he didn't even want to pay them that shit, bro, you know, this is fucking karma coming back to bite the WBC in the ass, you know. And let me ask you guys something, right? With all of this shit happening, do you guys think that, and it ended up being the same shit, just stop and think about this shit, right? Canelo already took this fucking loss, which this was what they were trying to protect him against, taking more losses. Now, if the WBC would have done the right thing and they would have mandated the Benavidez fight, and Benavidez would have got his opportunity at Canelo, we all know now, right, that Benavidez would beat Canelo. He would have beat him back then. Benavidez, let's just say Benavidez would have beat Canelo, which was what happened anyways, but it wouldn't have looked as bad as Crawford, a smaller guy moving up 2 to 3 weight classes and whooping Canelo. Benavidez beats Canelo. He gets that belt. Do you guys think that Benavidez would have told the WBC, fuck y'all, I'm not paying y'all shit? Stop and think about that shit, right? What would have happened? Benavidez would have became the undisputed champion at 168, which was rightfully his, but the WBC, they denied him that opportunity. He would have became the undisputed champion. He would have paid the WBC their money. And what would have happened next, bro? Benavidez would have moved up to 175 anyways. He would have continued his fucking path, his career. He would have jumped up to 175. And then the WBC could have found a way to get that fucking belt back to Canelo, which is the exact same fucking thing that is happening right now, except for now you got Terrence Crawford that hold you guys out. Canelo looks way worse because he lost to a fighter moving up 2 weight classes. You know what I'm saying? And it's the same fucking thing. You guys are going to find a way to get Canelo back his belt, and you guys are going to keep making your fucking money. But if you guys would have done the right thing and went the Benavidez route, you know what I'm saying? You guys wouldn't have shown this fucking this corruption side of you guys, and you guys wouldn't have had all of this bullshit that is happening now, happening as Terrence Crawford is going to war with you guys. He's going to war with you guys, him and Turkey, bro. Best believe Turkey is going to jump into this shit. You know, they're going to go to war with you guys, and they're going to try to take you guys out of the fucking game, man. So, like I said, bro, De La Hoya, whatever he's talking about, yeah, he's making a lot of points, and he's talking some good shit. But it would have been good shit if the WBC and all of that shit weren't corrupt, bro. So this is why, to me, it ain't hitting home, bro, because I know this. I know what's going on behind the scenes, right? If the WBC would have been following the rules and all that shit, then De La Hoya could have came out here and made this argument, you know. But we all see the corruption that is behind the WBC, so that argument that De La Hoya is making, it just gets fucking dismissed, right? Because we know what time it is and we know what's really going on. So that's all I got to say about De La Hoya's point of view on this shit, right? Because I know why De La Hoya is saying it, because he doesn't want the Saudis to take over boxing and get that whole TKO shit going, you know. So he's coming out here and he's siding with the WBC, but he should have talked about the corruption and, bro, like, how the fuck did Crawford get a chance at Canelo before Benavidez did, you know what I'm saying? So like I tell you guys, bro, karma is real in life, man. This is one thing that I've learned the hard way in life, bro. I learned this shit the hard way. This is why I try to move with purpose and with good intentions. You know what I'm saying? I try to be honest. I live righteous, you know, because I know that karma exists, and this is exactly what we're seeing in the sport of boxing with Mauricio Suleiman, the WBC. This is karma just coming back to bite them in the ass. You know, but I just had to come out here and talk about this shit, bro, because I think there's a lot of things that people are missing, you know, when it comes to this shit, right? The same way that Hoya was talking about, like, Crawford, the WBC, the rankings, and this and that. What about Benavidez, man? What happened to Benavidez and his rankings and his opportunities, you know, and doing right by Benavidez when he was ranked #1 to fight for the belts? All of that ranking shit went out the window, and this is what Crawford was talking about. You know, so on this topic and this time, I gotta rock with Terrence Crawford over De La Hoya, and especially over Mauricio Suleiman and the WBC. And you know what's funny as fuck is right now when they're asking Mauricio Suleiman these questions about, like, hey, what do you gotta say about what Terrence Crawford said? He's, you know, Mauricio Suleiman is talking about, oh, I haven't even seen it, and he's dismissing the shit real quick, bro, because he knows that he has no legitimate answers for what Terrence Crawford had to say. You know, I'm gonna leave this video right here, man. Let me know what you guys think about all this shit, bro. Go ahead and leave me a comment. Make sure to subscribe to the channel, and that's it for me. You know, I'll be on to the next one, man. I'm out.